that sound totally sci-fi, but they are obviously not. I believe that sci-fi kind of like nourishes anyway what we can create, and give life to. And the improvement in AR and VR and AI allow those type of avatar to actually be created and have a sort of existence in our world. So she was created by Joerg Zuber, Joerg Zuber, I hope I say that right, who is a graphic designer, and he is the graphic designer and creative director of Noonoouri. So he created his own design agency called Opium, and what is super touching in the story of Noonoouri, and I'm gonna cover why I'm talking about specifically about Noonoouri, but what is super touching about his thing about Noonoouri is that apparently he even expressed it on, meanwhile I was doing my research, he expressed it on his Instagram handle, like she was a vision that she was like a friend, that he calls her a friend that he had in his head since he was a child. But we can retrace that for 7 years. In his words, he lived with Noonoouri in silence. That's exactly what he says. And that for those 7 years, he had the idea, but he couldn't find any investor to actually believe in what he like envisioned, because his things with his whole situation, like describing her as a friend, I don't think it's like an imaginary friend. I don't think it's that. I think it's truly what he envisioned to be. And I mean, that really struck my soul, because despite the fact that it's a great creation, it's a great work of art, it's a piece of art, Noonoouri. It's really a lot of great thought outs inside of the storytelling. What really touched my heart and soul was that I'm an inventor as well. I filed for a patent in 2016, which was a provisional. So provisional is when basically it's like an example, it's not being filed, but it's in the system. And the Academy of the Patentee Academy say this might be feasible for being approved. And that's what I filed, and I went throughout the process. I'm still in the process 3 years later. So you really live with what you create, if that makes any sense. You're alone, and first of all, for me, I had to look for, like, if I wasn't crazy or calling myself an inventor, meanwhile like someone else had my phone of it. So I went to Alexandria. I drove to Alexandria, and I spent like 2 entire days in the Library of Patents, full entire days. They didn't want to get me to get in because I was an American, and I know it was a whole spiel. I had to carry like a card, like a special card and stuff, and I had to look for like all of the archive of all the ever filed, not even approved, but ever filed patent to say like, okay, this happens. And when you really create something, like when he said like I lived with you in silence for 7 years, that really struck my soul personally, because it really happened to me. And I'm sure that an authentic gem, and it's really a very nice example of what is to also never give up into something that you envision, because it's true, like creating a little character and being an adult is like kind of like throw you off. And Noonoouri really worked with the highest name in the industry, whether it's CEOs, whether it's entrepreneurs, whether it's TV reality stars. She really covers it all. And he said like that Noonoouri is a role model of a fantasy, a role model of fantasy at the same time. So let's dive in. Who's Noonoouri? Noonoouri is like a pure creation. I will put down below, and I will put extract just here. Sorry, it's my library. I'm super proud of my library. I love libraries. I love books. And it's like the closest things that I have to have an Pinterest background. So to come back, I will put the little clip. There is a YouTube video that explains you, or like introduce you, almost like a teaser or an ad, like who Noonoouri is. And she's a pure creation from scratch, completely imagined. She's 1.50 m. She is 19 years old, and she is, in his word, Mr. Zuber words, she's the voice of the voiceless. So that is a beautiful short way to express a mission, that she was not created to just be created. She really has a mission and a purpose. Magoric, kind of like sci-fi dream, but unlike little Milka, that is slightly different. I'll put photos, and I don't really want to compare because it's two different creative visions also as well. However, like little Milka, she has like an anchor in the real world, and she's almost like an augmented reality type of character. Meanwhile, Noonoouri, I think that she went really into what is so-called that dream world, and that is a very smart move that I will cover in a few. So why did I choose Noonoouri? First of all, because it takes me a really long time to do those videos. Like, people don't even realize. On top of that, I have a full-time job. I have studies, I have code to do. So all of those things are like super time consuming. So what I do is because I really want to create, and I really love what I do. Like, I really love companies. I really love creators. I really love entrepreneurs. I really love the fashion, the beauty industry, I kind of like the retail industry, like sometimes in a good side, when you're on the good side. Same thing for fashion. And I believe, like, it's the first it's the first step in the pyramid of Maslow, which is a pyramid of needs. Like, you need shelter, food, and clothing. That's the first step in the pyramid of human needs. So anyway, it's a beautiful mission within itself too. And I learned a lot. I love to learn about companies. I learn about companies that fail, about failure, and I can cover that with you. I would love to. So to go back to that, why Noonoouri? Because as it takes so much time, I really want to do something meaningful, and spend my time in something like super meaningful. So by far, she's the most interesting, and she is a real, pure, genuine, authentic creation. And for me, she's really adding value to a boring reality, and she's really adding value in the sense that she's one of the few that really does have a mission, which I believe, like, sometimes as you grow spiritually, as you grow humanly, as you grow as a person, the fashion world, the glamour can lack off very easily if you let it, only if you let it. In that sense, don't even know, like, you see them at work, and like when you see their Instagram, you're like, I don't even recognize that person. Like, this is not the person that I have in my everyday life. And how, like, they carry themselves, like, it's nothing but genuine, it's nothing but candid. And that's how we became, that's how the world of creators become very important. So I'm gonna start with the pros. Noonoouri has a defined cause. She's authentic and she's pure. So that is a very big point. She has, if you watch, I did my research for a long time before I did even even thought about writing it on luxury tech apparel medium and doing the video. So she has causes for animals, she has causes for pollution, she has causes, she's involved into the major catastrophe events. And if you watch her stories, of a story of her art director, it's always engaged, always cultural. You always have a value no matter what of learning something new. She really adds value to your life, genuinely. She has a mission. So I believe that compared to a regular influencer, that is to know Noonoouri is being signed by IMJ Model, which is like a huge agency that has like the major top model, supermodel, so to speak. She has a bigger creative room, and that's really her asset, because she's already created. She's a creator. She is magnificent, she's precious, and you can pretty much do anything you want. And the fact that her creator is a pure graphic designer allow and give RAM to complete almost work of art prints that can be sold. I've seen some for the Valentino one that were breathtaking. You're like, this is something else. And to the point that I believe that she's ahead. I don't think that she is I don't think that she is unreal, in the sense that they give her like an identity, they give her like, she's really truly bottom line a fantasy, and her main asset is creativity. And she offers the world of dream to its pure, most genuine state, which is an important asset, because I believe what Jack Ma said, Jack Ma, who was the ex-CEO of Alibaba, we need more people who dream. Because if it's all about just the money, if it's all about just the IPO, just the followers, this is not gonna have a long shelf life, because it's not a real true goal within itself. This is a consequence. And I believe that she offers that to people, and that's extremely important. So I will come back to the creative economy, as I already said, but I'm basic mission. As we said, like, she's the voice of the voiceless, and I believe that more than that, like, she's even more human than some humans, like, honestly. So she has, like, she's supposed to be 19, but I think that she has a pretty mature, even wise message and outlook and rendering into the world, and she exposed subjects that we will never know. And it's not really limited to fashion. It's completely in the realm of the entire world, celebrities, culture, art, fashion, humanist, cause. I think the only thing that I really didn't so Noonoouri do for an entire year was true crime. Never see that one. So then, I mean, I believe that the pros is that, unlike other influencers, we have a lack with CGI character, no matter who they are, of human history. What I mean about human history is that you always have an influencer like telling them about their life, or what they want you to believe their life is. I never saw an influencer like break down on Instagram like Song of Style or Cara Farhani. Like, it's always like a life of like, oh, happily ever after type of life. What is very interesting with Noonoouri is that she doesn't have that. She does not have a mom, a dad, of this or that, because she's a CGI. So you have to replace your content with educative content, which is purely a bigger value. And I think that's the beauty of it. And it's some, like, in a way it's a pro for Noonoouri, but in a way it's like, it's, as I said earlier, like, she's more human than some human. I mean, when you think about it, like, a CGI character adds me more value than you, a fellow human. Like, yeah, it's kind of, sometimes when you think about it, it's kind of sad. And this is where, like, honestly, focus your lens on social media creator. Like, don't focus your lens on people that you don't even know what you see, you don't even know the reality of it. Like, I mean, clearly. So honestly, one time I saw, I think it was a Michelle fan Instagram, like, social media harms your mental health. I believe that if you watch those type of content, I'm happy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm pretty, I have expected flaws on this and that, it can really does harm your mental health, because there is something between wanting something, sharing something, trying to say something, convey a message, and curating the life that you would like to have. Like, complete difference. So pay attention to that, kids or people, and really don't feel bad. Like, stop comparing. Like, watch people who make you dream, like Noonoouri does. Noonoouri really elevates the world of fashion, and it's a great way to advertise. And finally, I would like to say, like, not finally, I have two more points. I would like to say that Noonoouri is a real Pygmalion effect. So for those who do not know what a Pygmalion effect, Pygmalion is an Ovid tale. So the Metamorphosis of Ovid is a Greek book. It's a Roman book, sorry, under Augustus. It's a Roman book, and basically Pygmalion is an artist and sculpts a statue. The statue become alive, and they basically fall in love, and they fall in love with what he has created. I don't think that Zuber is in love with Noonoouri. I think he strongly has a big bond with her. He created her and he curates her, so you must have a bond. But in the sense, like, it gives he gave what we call in psychology Pygmalion effect, when you create something from the scratch and you fall in love with it, and that's totally normal, and you become a bond. And she's a true definition of what a muse is. I don't think that a muse should never be human. That's very insulting. People have a life of their own. I think that's very diminishing, especially. And we always expect a muse to be a woman. Wonder why. Patriarchal society. Sorry, but it's a pure example of what a muse could be, because she was really created. She was envisioned. When you create a child, when you bear a child, I mean, I don't have one myself, but like, you have to allow the child to be who he is truly. It's completely different than something that you create from scratch. Like, completely different. Like, the CGI character, I should not call it an avatar, I should say the CGI character versus the ego. So, I mean, that's really the point between influencer and the creation and the CGI, is that with a CGI, you don't have to deal with people's ego. And as they say in Instagram, if you follow for entrepreneurs, your ego is not out, your amigo. This Spanglish is slowly desolating. The shoes of the company, it's a secure value. You're never gonna have a girl that snap, a girl that is playing games, a girl that is doing shades, a girl, because at one point or another, we are all humans, and you know, the beauty of our imperfection is great, but you will always have to deal with someone that will put their ego one point at first, and it will deteriorate their work, no matter what. It will deteriorate your decisions. It will be a bad decision making. And what you really have to understand, like, no offense to anyone, but influencers are not leaders. They are marketers. That's what an influencer is. He is someone that influences your buying power decision. And I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to put anyone down. Absolutely not. I really respect, it's a lot of work. I really respect the work. However, there will be a chance and a 10-20% risk that is for sure gonna happen. Anyone who tell me no is a bold bullshit lie right now. It will happen. With a CGI, this type of thing will not happen. Mr. Zuber have investors behind him. You have a different kind of pressure. The fact to construct and to make an image is not a photo that you snap and you correct. When you start from a white page and say like, I need to do that, and you start making a puzzle in your mind to know what you're gonna do, is completely different than you know, taking a picture and say like, how can I do that? The thought process is completely different. So your ego and the ego of Noonoouri is not coming in the way, because as I said earlier, it's not about curating the life that you want. It's about conveying a message. She does not have a human history, so she has to replace that with a message. So you are in a secure value as an investor, as a brand, as anything, to not have someone as like being like in the retail space, having client yelling at you like, anyway, cause like retail is dying. Some type of retail are dying, but I can tell you that retail will never die because it's a necessary evil. E-commerce is retail, basically. So yell at me something else. I know for sure is that I was super surprised when he endorsed Noonoouri. He showed himself with her, and that said a lot for me for who he stands for the future, what stands in his vision for the future, and the fact that he created a CGI assistant stylist that has a very bad interface. If you want to hire me, I would be glad, but I charge a lot. No, for real. So sorry, it's true. I work a lot, so hey, I demand a lot for myself. So anyway, if you, I was so glad that this happened, because that shows that for a big retailer, successful retailers such as Yoox, Net-a-Porter, that are very fast growth, that have CGI implemented, that have AI implementation in their distribution chain, that is a bold position to take and to endorse as a CEO. And I just thought that that really was a hopeful message for the future too, and how we can consider CGI character to be, and not just something for pure entertainment, but something that really can convey a message and that carries a lot of weight into our culture. Because it's in the anthropology of a culture that something successful has to be popular. So for a CEO to endorse and even have like to endorse a character like Noonoouri, I thought that was such a hopeful vision and position for the future. And for that, I'm following Federico Marcelli. I do. So now let's go to the worst part, which is the cons. So to be quite honest, I didn't find that much cons, because probably I'm not objective enough. I have ego that is not my ego in the way. But after research and analysis, I mean, there is not as much cons as there is pros. The only thing is that I mean, avatar or CGI character in general can really have not really good interfaces that makes them not really credible, and for is not good. It's not believable, it's not credible, it's not transporting me, it's not a good presence in a character. And Noonoouri is honestly a success because Noonoouri didn't want to be a human. Noonoouri is almost an anime-like type of unreal CGI, and you own the CGI in her. And I think that the most clever decision was honestly to make her an anime, because anime is like this weird, the work of Disney is amazing, the CGI of Disney is amazing, but nothing will ever, in my personal opinion, raise and obtain the power that an anime can have, because we all grew up with it. And for those who really watch it like I did and who read manga their whole life, it's so smart because it's ingrained in you. You recognize that and it's part of your life. And meanwhile, she's not really an anime. She has an identity of her own, but it sounds familiar. And as you all know, I also do study with UXD, and I study human behaviors as well, as much as I code and stuff like that. That's why I love user interface. Anyway, I'm not even gonna start, but I did a study on how human thinks and how human consume. And basically, we are more inclined psychologically to think about cute things with big eyes. And that's really a truth that our brain translates to all of us within the first microseconds. That a neuron, when someone see a baby, we are inclined to believe that it's cute, and it's really cute because it has bigger eyes and a face. Like, babies don't really have features. When you really think about it, it's like a big fluffy face with big bull's eyes. And we are automatically inclined as a species for our survival instinct to believe that it's cute, it's pretty, it's something that needs to be held in tenderness. And we have so many databases and surveys that tells us that people buy more when something is inclined to be cute than when it's not. And big eyes, and that's why most of the animation, you always have people with big eyes, or you have application that make your eyes bigger. And no, it's not the shade like, oh, big eyes, I want to mingle with you. It's really a selling factor. So that is purely scientifically recognized. I'm gonna try to look for the research again, but if I don't, now you know. So then I believe that the second cons that I would say, that it would be very dangerous, honestly, a dangerous path to really invent a story to an avatar, saying like, to a CGI, like saying, oh, those are my parents, or this is where I went to school, and this reminds me. I believe that really, like, the force of the avatar, the CGI character, I have to stop to call it avatar. The force of the CGI character is really to be translated, if you would say so, into an educative purpose that will add value and to grow with their viewer. And that's a fun part of it. So if you start like trying to do like an influencer, and that's my third point and last point of this very long video. It's super long. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't, oh well, this is gonna be a long video. So I think that would be this the kind of like super dangerous thing to do, because they are creators and they're not influencers, and that brings me to my last point, my last part, which is the creator economy. I will dive, and I'm already writing right now about the creator economy, the creative economy. So the creative economy is not new, and the cultural economy is not new at all, unless like you read absurdity of people who don't know what they are talking about. It was created actually in 1979, and the technological revolution had increased and boosted this economy to the apogee, or the kind of like, it's not really an apogee because it's constantly growing, and it's growing very organically. But what you really have to understand is that technology is pure creation. I mean, a line of code can take you a very long way, and AI is pure creation as well. We invented AI, so something that we have created, and there is nothing more creative than technology to this date. So it's really in the anthropology of a culture and this specific civilization to create an environment that allows us to create things and create better. And I covered that earlier with social media, and that it's not just a place for you to show off, but it can be a great place also for creators, or for is that an influencer is here to purely affect your buying decisions. You follow an influencer because you believe that she's pretty, what she wears is pretty, and where she goes is cool, and you want to have the same lifestyle. When you are into the creative economy, you are with someone that can also influence your buying decisions, but you are into someone that created something from scratch without necessarily might have help or no, but who have done something without that was mainly never being done before, or represented for you a vision that was never really being done before. And yes, they can influence your buying power in the sense that they do bring something that is called fantasy. So we are not with someone curating their life carefully. We are with someone presenting you a different vision and perspective into the world. That's what is actually a great economical force. So when you are in a brand, when you are a company, and you want to invest in and give exposure or market a product or a service, you can totally get creators to do it for you. The difference is that the creator is not here in service mainly of making numbers. The creator is also here to convey a story and a message. Meanwhile, the influencer is totally in service of the product of a brand that he has to endorse. And that's why it's very difficult, because you have to choose carefully. So you have a large pool of creators. I consider creators Sofia Moroso, that created Girl Boss. I believe Facebook, Instagram is an interface company. Apple is an interface company as well, a UI company completely. It's beautiful interfaces. Michelle Fan, and the list is like long, and we could stay like all night in there. So if you are a brand, I would consider also being with creators. It's just that creators are not as well as understood, because what people watch is the followers. What people watch is the viral. What people watch is the views, and they don't understand that those are things that we construct and we build. However, I mean, it is what it is. It is a chicken and egg type of situation. you need the egg and you need the chicken to have the egg and so on and so forth. So I believe that it would be a great thing to consider, because creators also have followers. Creators also, it was also for me to vouch for what the creative economy is, and that people overlook at it and think it's something that should be free. Meanwhile, it's not. And the most successful company in this world are creative, are part and huge motors and machine of a creative economy. And that's it. I think that I impacted your life positively, and remember, continue building your dreams, and I see you next time. Bye. In the meantime, continue getting educated, because we need it and we can do it. I hope it was a positive message. Bye, internet, and see you next time.